Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today we have to continue Kosambi. When the Buddha was spending Vassa in Kosambi, there was a big conflict among the bhikkhus. So here we have to know the beginning of the problem. So here we should start. Vinaya Dhara bhikkhus, that means Vinaya Ispa bhikkhus. Another one is Dhamma Katika bhikkhu, Dhamma teacher, or preacher, or Dhamma talker. The problem started from the toilet water. So Dhamma teacher or Dhamma talker, then there's a washing water in the toilet. Then he left in the cup. So here you don't need to use a cup, right? Actually, after using the cup, we have to face the cup down. That's for bhikkhu, right? So when we are going to use toilet cup or bowl, a small bowl, right? We have to face them down in order that no water may left inside the cup. But that one, he left water in the cup or in the bowl. Then Vinaya expert, bhikkhu saw it and say, no, you must not do it. In the very beginning, their conversations are quite smooth. So this also say, I don't know, that's why I have done this kind of mistake. Okay, this is, if the kind of mistake, not that serious. They unknowingly make a mistake, right? Not very serious. He also say, it's not very serious. Then the problem is spreading the news. Oh, they are Dhamma talker, even they don't know very simple Vinaya. Right? He left water in the cup. Very small information, right? Spreading the news. Then the two groups, one is the Dhamma talker, we can say like a Sudanda learners bhikkhus group, another is a Vinaya expert group. So they have fighting, dispute, or argument. So because of the conflict, devotee also be divided into two groups. Even devotees. All of them are good bhikkhu, right? In the very beginning. So this is very beginning of conflict. Then also it became worse. Then although they don't fight bodily, but verbally, it became a big problem. Then the Buddha interfered to solve the problem or to resolve the conflict. Also asked the monks to reconcile. So in their grouping, the Buddha himself, the Buddha personally went to them, deliver many Jataka stories. Then what they said, here what they said. Please wait, Venerable Sir, teach out the Dhamma. May the Blessed One live peacefully and comfortably in the presence of life without worry. We ourselves will be known for this quarrel, conflict, argument, and dispute. This is what the Bhikkhu said. So how do you understand? That means the Buddha, don't bother about it. Don't interfere. Live peacefully. By doing this kind of argument, we will become famous. This is their mindset. Right? So have you ever met that kind of people? Right? By arguing, I will become famous. They have that kind of mindset. Right? They make problem. They argue. Then finally, right? The Buddha cannot teach them. Actually, the Buddha used many Jataka stories. We have mentioned before, like a Latukika Jataka, Vataka Jataka. We already mentioned before, right? When we talk about the Rohini River, right? We have to already talk about this story. The Buddha also explained for their unity many different ways, but they don't listen. Finally, the Buddha decided to leave. The Buddha also knew that they are not ready to accept. Actually, in this case, Buddha also verbally or may recite many stanzas. Many stanza means, for example, here foolish people, right? They thought by doing that kind of thing they can be famous. They have that kind of understanding, right? Then we have very famous stanza. Now Virena Virani, very famous stanza in Dhammavada, right? That means hatred cannot be solved by hatred. So that means hatred cannot make people peaceful. Non-hatred can make people peaceful. And not only that, in the community, if we cannot find good association, or good friends, or good companions, we should not associate with bad company also. It will damage our image and reputation. Then the Buddha left for one place where Venerable Bhikkhu lived. That only short time the Buddha spent there. He lived alone. Of course, living alone may be peaceful, right? Now in Kosambi, very big conflict, big group. So that means if the community is not unity, we're gonna be peaceful. Also, one more thing. We talk about aging, sickness before, right? So when we are very old that we cannot carry our body, it's not the time to meditate. I already mentioned that one before. When we have very serious sickness, then we cannot carry our body anymore. It's not the time to meditate. Similarly, when there's a conflict in the community, we're going to feel peaceful. It's not the time to meditate. No, not good time to meditate. Then if we wish to meditate, we can meditate, but not good time to meditate. We're going to feel peaceful. So the Buddha go to Venerable Bhikkhu. He's also living in one of the village monastery. Then living alone, of course, he can feel peaceful. Buddha also prays or living alone is peaceful. This is also called Kaya Viveka, bodily seclusion or bodily solitude. After that, the Buddha continues another place in Pachinavansa. In the Pachinavansa, you have Venerable Anuruddha, Venerable Nandiya, Venerable Kimila. So they live together in the same forest. So they welcome the Buddha. They also prepare a seat for the Buddha. Since many of bhikkhus and Kosambi are making a problem, then Buddha asked the three bhikkhu, what about their living time now? Then they say, we all are well united. Okay, here I should say how they are well united. Even they don't need to talk each other too much. That means unspoken language. They cannot unspoken language. For example, in the dining hall, if somebody goes for Vinabada, the first one who come back, he will prepare all the washing water, lay the table, all the cups and bowls, everything there. When two other people come, it will be ready. After meal, the last one will store everything smoothly. They don't need to say their duty, right? They don't need to share their duty. So they do by themselves. When the Buddha asks how they live, they say, we just put our desire aside. I just try to fulfill my Dhamma friend desire. This is a good association. So since they can live very well, they can live peacefully, they can practice peacefully. This is lifestyle of three bhikkhu. Then they also say each other, oh, having this kind of Dhamma friend, I'm lucky. Okay, for example, Venerable Anuruddha say, oh, having I have two Dhamma friends like this, I'm lucky. Venerable Nandiya say the same. Venerable Kimila say the same. So that means they are, okay, previously we already mentioned, right? If we have very far morality, we're going to live together. They have the same goal. They are practicing very diligently, very well. Then the Buddha also just discuss short things. After that, they have a question. Their question means, Venerable Anuruddha had divine eyes, very strong psychic power. So he also asks, sometimes he could see many new forms, that means many new visible objects. After that, the light fade away. Okay, one more thing I have to add, right? In his statement also mentioned, he sees something new he had never seen before. When seeing that kind of things, his light fade away or become dim. This is his experiences in meditation. When this was talked to the Buddha, The Buddha also share his experiences. So actually, when we see new things, not only life fade away, our concentration also unstable. Right? In the case of Venerable U Kovida, he could not know why this kind of thing happened to him. Then the Buddha also revealed his experiences. When the Buddha was practicing as a Bodhisatta before enlightenment, the Buddha also had seen many new things, new visible objects. At the time, the same thing happened like Venerable U Kovida. His concentration became unstable, the light became dim. Sometimes the light became, right, not only dim, the light, we can say finish or vanish, fade away totally. So if we investigate the cause, it will be some mental impurity that arises, that had arisen in his thought process. We call in Bali upakilesa. So mostly when we translate kilesa as a defilement, but here not only defilements, if we say upakilesa, it also can be impurity. You can say impurity of the mind. So as long as we have this kind of impurity, the light will fade away. When we can subside all this impurity, we can improve. So today Dhamma talk will be a little bit useful for meditators. Right? Previously I planned to talk about Bhikkhu or something. All the things I just related to Vinaya, only for Bhikkhu is okay. For Yogi, it will be not that much useful. So I change the topic. Right? So I just change this topic. Okay, we should start with impurity. The first one, vichikicha, doubt. Okay, now in your practice, when you start experiencing something new, what kind of doubt arises in your mind? For example, now many people, right, when you start seeing the light, this is the light produced by concentration or external light, sunlight or something, right? You may have this kind of doubt. In the case of the Buddha, when he was practicing, also he had psychic power, divine eyes. He could see many, many new things, even divine forms, divine beings, right? Many things he could see. In the case of many things, it also came like a Peta, Yaka, or many, many new things he had never seen before. Then when seeing that, he thought, what's that? Curiosity, right? What's that? How many times do you ask this kind of question when you are practicing? When you start experiencing something new, you may have a question, right? What is that? Because of curiosity, he has a doubt. This is normal. When you are curious, you may have a lot of doubt. Sometimes some questions we don't have an answer. Of course, if we find answer, there will be, but not that much useful. So from time to time, I also reminded many meditators, when you start experiencing new things, don't ask two questions. How? Why? Right? Now I should add one more thing. What? So why this kind of thing happen? How this kind of thing happen? Why this one appear? How this one appear? What is that? Right? When we have many questions like that, you were confused. You may have doubts. So when you have doubts, the light will become dim, or the light will fade away. This is the normal. This is the nature. So you're going to avoid it, right? If you avoid, it's also not that much useful. Okay, now we have another one. Amanasikara, not paying attention, or not intention, right? So sometimes you don't pay attention to main objects, right? You don't pay attention to main objects. Of course, you don't know. You may pay attention to many other things, right? So, for example, when you start seeing the light, your mind will naturally go to the light. This is a new, very attractive. But when you start experiencing nimitta also, very attractive, your mind will go there naturally. You cannot control it. But if you don't pay attention to the breathing, it will fade away again. The light will change. Right? Many times, even in this retreat, I have reminded many yogis when they have seen the light. Don't think about the shape. Don't think about the color. Don't think about the locations. If you think about the color, it will change a lot. If you think about the shape, it will change a lot. If you think about locations also, it will change a lot. It will be endless, changing. So your mind does not incline to main subjects, main meditation subjects. Then your life will fade away. This is also normal. The Tinamita, sloth and torpor, we can also say drowsiness. So we don't need to say why drowsiness arises, right? It can be caused by food. This is one of the things. Sometimes drowsiness can be because the weather also possible, sickness also possible. If you don't have enough sleeping also, it's possible. But actually, although you have a drowsiness, you can still see the light, but not very bright as awake. Right? There's a two difference. Because you have power of the concentration. That's mine. Although you have drowsiness, you can see. You can still see the light. But it doesn't mean you can see nimitta. Right? There are also some yogis, they also ask some silly question. Like, I have seen nimitta in the dream. Is it possible for me to practice recalling that nimitta in the dream? How should I answer? Right? In the dream, of course, when our mind is too much attachment to nimitta, we can see nimitta in the dream also, right? Actually, before I see nimitta, I have also dreamed like this. Right? Even I can fly on the sky in the dream. Right? Now, I cannot fly, right? Only in the dream I can fly. Okay, the main thing is the Tinamita, sloth and torpor. So sometimes when we have this kind of defilements, mind is not very active, or sluggish, then although we can see the light, it will be a little bit dim. Gradually it will fade away. This is also one of the impurity in practice. Okay, now we have to move. The next one. Chambitata. Anxiety or traveling. Okay, here when we talk about Chambitata, anxiety or trembling, actually when we say the anxiety or Chambitata, that means your body is a little bit rough, gross, not very subtle. You don't feel comfortable, you don't feel too much comfortable in your body. Chamitatta, right? Okay, another thing is okay, like a kind of stiffness in the body. This is also called Chamitatta. Sometimes, like when you are scared of something, you become frozen, right? Frozen. That kind of thing happens. This is also called Chamitatta. So sometimes your body is like a frozen. That kind of thing also can happen. When that kind of thing happens, also you may have the light, but not very bright. It will be dim. If happen very long time or frequent happening like this, your life will disappear naturally. So your concentration will decline also. That is also one of the impurity here. Another one, obila, elation. So elation means too much joy, we also say, right? Too much joy. We can also say too much attachment also possible, right? Sometimes we have to see something new we have never seen before. Too much joyful, right? Overjoy. That also causes one of the side effects. Your concentration power become weaker. Then life will become dim. Finally, disappear. That kind of thing also can happen. Especially whenever we have attachment, we have a new experiences or like a new things, we have attachment also. We may expect that kind of thing again and again, right? When you have great experience at one time, the next session you may experience the same one. It will not happen anymore. You're gonna feel happy anymore also. Finally, everything disappears. Okay, now another one. Dubala. Coarseness or you can say grossness in the body. Sorry? Dutona, right? So sometimes body become very gross, very rough. Maybe like a hair rising or something, right? One more thing here, right? So sometimes we may see many fearful things. You know? Fearful things, right? It depends on, from the ordinary meditator, it depends on our imaginary also. When we have calmness and quietness, whatever thing our mind incline, we can see it. We can know it. As we really experience in the one. For example, you may think about ghosts. Right? Then when you are meditating, when you have calmness of the mind, as soon as your mind inclined to the ghost, it will be not real ghost, it might make ghost. Right? It makes your mind, your body gross, not very comfortable. So that also can be like Chamitatta, right? Also can be Dutona. So this kind of thing can happen anytime. So these are interruptions when we are practicing. When we are interrupted by these types of impurity, our concentration is not very stable, the light becomes dim or fade away. Okay, we have a few more impurity here. That one is it. The first one, Acharada Viriya, excessively excited energy. That means too much effort. So actually, we also misunderstand, right? Because of laziness, we have our body become cold, previous one, right? Coarseness or grossness, this one, right? When we become very lazy, then nothing happen. That's why we put extra effort to make it stronger. Actually, when we have too much effort also, there will be side effects. Right? Side effect means the more we struggle, the more we have wandering thoughts. We have already mentioned many times, we must balance concentration and effort. If we cannot balance these two, we cannot improve. So when Bodhisatta was a Buddhism before enlightenment, he also experienced elation. The another thing is that this is overjoying, relax also, right? Become relaxed. Then when to relax, then it causes laziness, discomfort. Also, it also can be previous one, Dutula, right? Coarseness of the body or the grossness in the body. Okay, for ordinary practitioner like Anapanasati, sometimes you may expect clearer breaths. Then you put extra effort to know clearer and clearer. You can know it. Your concentration also becomes stronger and stronger. But you cannot maintain very long time. Similarly, if we have too much effort, we cannot maintain. You may remember the first day when we talk about excessive effort. Whenever I say I have to teach new yogi, I also say to balance effort. Balance effort for me, as long as you can know breathing, don't put extra effort. Right? Don't make it clearer, stronger, deeper, or better. I remind many times like that. Okay, here one more thing. If we put too much effort for young people, they are strong enough, they can maintain for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, no more. Have you ever experienced? You may have very good concentration for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you become exhausted. No more energy to continue. Why this cannot happen? This is the acharata viriya. You put too much effort. So if we put too much effort, become tired, then cannot continue. Of course, there will be the problem. The light become dim, concentration become weaker, finally the light will fade away. This is also one of the problems in the meditation, right? I think you have experienced that one. Right? Especially young people. They have a lot of energy, right? Trying many ways, text many ways, tired many ways. After that, tension in the body. Right? Putting too much effort also, many tension, many discomfort in the body. Suddenly they forcefully focus on one place to put in too much mind power. Right? Just very strong attention into one place. Too much mental power, too much mental energy. Of course, too much restlessness, this is one of the things. We put too much body energy, become tension. This is the nature of acharata viriya. This also can cause the experience of the light and nimitta. Okay, now, the next one. Atilina viriya. Atilina viriya also, one of the problem, excessively lacks energy. That means very weak energy. Too relaxed. So we have already known, right? If we put too much effort, it causes restlessness. It fade away the light. It will make the light fade away. And that's why we relax too much. If we relax too much, that means we have laziness again. Too relaxed, right? So, for example, sometimes you have very good concentration, then you relax too much, you may fall into Bhanga state. Your mind become blur. You can meditate comfortably, but no more improvement. Very luxurious. When you fall into Bhanga state, also very luxurious, very comfortable, but no more improvement. So similar thing can apply like before. Or that means I put too much effort, that's when the light fade away. That means I should save my energy, relax, finally fade away, right? But not only that, when you have new experiences, right? For example, you feel rapture, joy in your body, too much comfortable. Then your mind will incline to that kind of pleasant feeling. Tranquility, rapture, joy, this kind of experiences. When your mind follow all the comfortable experiences, then your effort will become weaker and weaker naturally. Finally, your mind becomes blur. You cannot know any particular object. You know something, but you don't know what you know. Right? You cannot describe what your mind knowing. The mind becomes blur. At the time, so very comfortable, very luxurious, but no more improvement. Then there are some people, they also misunderstand. That kind of say it's like a nibbana, right? Path and fruition knowledge. So when you become lazy, you can attain path and fruition knowledge, right? When you relax too much, you can attain path and fruition knowledge. No, real one. Fake one, right? So this is also one of the problem. Very weak effort, very weak energy. Actually, sometimes that kind of weak energy also can cause tinamita. We already mentioned before, right? Tinamita is one of the impurity, right? When we relax too much, we become lazy because have tinamita, sloth and torpor. Sometimes we can also fall asleep. This is also one of the problems. Okay, now another one. That one is it. Abhijapa, longing. We can also like a kind of craving. What does it mean, the one, right? You may also have many other understanding about abhijapa, longing. For example, sometimes, again, in the case of Venerable the Buddha, right? And now here the Buddha himself talk about it. So when seeing divine beauty, craving arise. Craving can arise. Craving can arise. So similarly, when seeing many other desirable things we have never seen before, we may long for it. We may have attachment for it. Maybe craving for it. This is called the abhijapa. This is also not quite good, right? So that is also one of the weakness of practitioners. Let alone psychic power. In the case of Venerable Anuruddha, he had psychic power already. He could see divine beauty. Right? Then for ordinary people, we don't have that kind of power. Sometimes, I already mentioned, when our mind becomes very calm, whatever our mind inclines, it can happen. We can see something new. If something is enjoyable, mind will follow there. when we have attachment to that kind of experiences, mind will not inclined to meditation anymore. This is also a vichapa. Okay, now we have the next one. Nanata Sanya, diversity of perception. So that means we may have many different perceptions. In this case, we cannot know single object anymore. In the case of concentration, we must know only one thing, one pointedness. That means if we can know one object all the time, we call one pointedness. This is also called concentration. Having many perceptions, that means knowing many objects, many things. So when you have a very much calmness of the mind or concentration, even the light, when your perception change, the light will change one stage to another stage, right? It can be square, it can be circle, it can be spot, it also can be, right, like blue, different color, different shape. Something like a blinking, something is stable, something like a zoom in, zoom out, right? You can experience many things. It also can be like a tunnel, like a hole. You can see and experience many things. Because your perception makes everything like that. A few days ago, I had already mentioned Chapasatipani, right? When somebody asked about nimitta, one meditation teacher gave instruction about nimitta. The student report every day. He play nimitta. Today I see nimitta like that. The teacher say something, he note down. Every day his nimitta is changing. No, every day nimitta changing. So reporting every day, note down every day. 6 years, you can imagine how thick the notebook will be. Right? You need to publish the books. Then what to do? It will be very messy, right? So then every day he saw different nimitta. Because he was playing. So then he saw many different nimittas. When perception change, nimitta will change. So Nadala Sanya, it also can make the light fade away. Concentration unstable. Although the light didn't fade away, concentration is unstable, very clear. Okay, now we have to move the last one. Here, that one is Ati Nijana. Sorry, Nijayitata Rupa, the state of excessively contemplating forms. Okay, here in this case, form means physical object. It also can mean mimic object. We can also understand another way, like it's excessively pondering. So I mean, we look into the object we experience very closely, or scrutinizing the meditation object excessively, then it will make the object unstable. Okay, let alone nimitta. We should talk about anapanasati, breathing practically for you, right? Even anapanasati, sometimes they want to know very much in detail. You know, they can know only I'm breathing only one nose. Another nose does not work. Right? They can know very much in detail. I can know I'm breathing very, very tiny, like a thread. Very small touching point, like a touching with a pen. right? Very small turning point. Then they can know very much in detail, but their minds are not very stable. They cannot maintain that kind of quality very long time. Right? Then you may ask, how you can know, right? I explained that one. I also have done that kind of things. You know? All the time I say, don't do it. I haven't done it. That's why I can say, don't do it, right? For example, don't follow internally, don't follow externally. I haven't done. I know what will happen, right? So similarly, breathing also, right? Don't try to know very much in detail. You cannot maintain very long time. I experienced that one already. That's what I can say. Don't do it. So that means too much analyzing, too much investigation, too much pondering, it can make mind unstable. So these are impurity of meditation. Altogether, 11. Right? And let's order 11, right? These 11. The Buddha talked to Venerable Anuruddha. If you have one of these 11, your light will be unstable, your concentration will be unstable, your light will be dim, or from time to time, your light will fade away. These are impurity. If we can avoid all this impurity, also we can also say, if we can avoid or if we can solve this kind of problem, we can maintain our concentration. We got to maintain the light very stable. That is impurity. Talk to Venerable Anuruddha. So at that time, all the bhikkhus in Kosambi still arguing, quarreling, right? So 9 was a unlucky year for the Buddha. But according to Myanmar tradition, 9 is a lucky number. I don't know your lucky number. But here, Buddha 9 was not very lucky. Right? The Buddha had to suffer a lot. So one thing is disturbed by Magandi. Right? This is the one thing. Another one is a bhikkhu problem. Then after that, the Buddha set out journey to this one. You may have seen this picture, right? To the Pali Leka forest. In the Pali Leka forest, there's also one elephant called Pali Leka. He also take care of the Buddha. He took care of the Buddha. He collected the fruits, offer the Buddha, or he bring water, offer the Buddha, like this, right? He do everything for the Buddha. He did everything for the Buddha. So 10 vasa, the Buddha spent in the forest. So then until the Buddha spent 10 vasa, the disputes or conflict in Kosambi not yet finished. They're still arguing. They have big problem. So I already mentioned devotee divide into 2 groups, right? Split into 2 groups. Even Deva become 2 groups, which I already mentioned, right? Now when the Buddha left, they went to see the Buddha. But many people also talk to Venerable Ananda. Then they should go and invite the Buddha to come back to Kosambi. But Venerable Ananda say, no, it should not be. If the Buddha wish us to follow, he will remind us to follow. Now he just want to live alone, that's why he left alone. Then, one more thing here. This is demonstrated by devotees. All the devotees got angry. So these bhikkhu have conflict. That's why we cannot see the Buddha. Previously they are supporting the bhikkhus. Now they stop supporting. You can imagine an ordinary life without supporter, how can we survive? So that means if there's nobody supporting them, what will they eat? For about living place, okay, they have living place, it doesn't matter, right? For about food, this is daily. Every day they must eat. If nobody supports, what will they eat? Then actually they have to suffer a lot. Devotees stop supporting them. They also say, because of your conflict, the Buddha didn't live in this city. The Buddha left. Then no supporting, all that their arrogance or stubbornness fade away. Right? So for ordinary person, right? We have to be very careful. Sometimes we are arrogant, supported by devotees. Right? So now, they want to invite the Buddha, but the Buddha was also already in the forest. So already, they cannot go and see the Buddha. The Buddha also will not come to see them anymore. Right? Then they have to suffer a lot. Okay, here we also see like a monkey, right? Offering beehive. So you can see monkey can climb the tree, can collect everything, right? And he collect beehive and offer to the Buddha. There's some eggs, being eggs, and the beehive, so Buddha didn't take it. He removed eggs and offered to the Buddha. So he's overjoyed. When the Buddha said he overjoyed, right? He jumped here and there. By accident, he hit his head and he passed away, born in the Devarams. Right? This is the monkey nature, right? So only elephant can take care of the Buddha, whole Vasa. So after Vasa, all the people went to see the Buddha. They also came to the forest. But whenever Ananda said, okay, no, don't follow, he will go alone. He need to ask Buddha wish. He need to see them or not. Of course, the Buddha said, I'm willing to see them. They cannot come. But Venerable Ananda invited the Buddha to go back Kosambi, right? But the Buddha set up a very long journey to Savatthi. Okay, one more thing here. In the case of Savatthi, at the time, Buddhahood monastery, not yet. Okay, one more thing. You have to remember. Visakha was 7 years old, right? When the Buddha first time gave Dhamma talk, when she attained Sotapanna. Now the Buddha is at 10 years already. Right? Visakha will be maybe 16 years old. I mean, newly married young lady. Newly what? Huh? Young lady. But she was married when she was 16 years old. Okay, here one more thing we have to remember. When all the bhikkhu, conflict bhikkhu also go to Savatthi, they are waiting for the Buddha. So since they are problem maker, all the resident bhikkhu in Jetavana didn't allow them to enter the monastery. Another problem, right? Problem maker. That's why they are not allowed to enter the monastery. So they have to live outside the monastery in the pavilion. Many visitors, when they came to the monastery, Jetavana monastery, to support other bhikkhus, seeing that kind of bhikkhu, they also criticize. Oh, very silly one. Very bad bhikkhus. They have to bear all their criticisms. You can imagine, right? So that means consequence, right? Very bad consequences. They didn't listen to Buddha. They do suffer one vasa in Kosambi already. Not enough. After vasa, they come to Savatthi. All the devotees look down upon them. Because they didn't listen to Buddha. This is one of the mistakes. Right? Even they say, by making this kind of conflict, we will become famous. Have you ever thought that kind of things? By making problem, you can be famous, right? It's not famous, it's notorious. Right? Anyway, then they will suffer a lot again in Savatthi. But when the Buddha comes, also the Buddha talk about many things about unity again, right? Then okay, we can say the problem is solved in Kosambi. Or the problem is solved in Savatthi. We don't know they can take part in future knowledge or not. But the problem is they will suffer a lot, not listen to the Buddha. Here one thing, the Buddha said, actually when they are making problem in Kosambi, even two kings, they have weapons, they have armies, they will fight each other. Some of their soldiers will die. Some of their property will be damaged. Although they have that kind of illusion, they can make bees. But for ordained person, why you cannot make bees? He had this kind of question to the bhikkhus, but they didn't listen. Right? But anyway, now the Brahmin says, so the Buddha spent 10 vasa in Parileka forest. So here today we just talk about Kosambi, 9 vasa. Another thing is 10 vasa in Parileka forest. So 11 vasa will be one village called Eka Nala village. So this is a village, not a city. So we cannot find many suttas delivered in Eka Nala village. So that means we may have only one discourse tomorrow. Right? 11 was a Buddha spent in Eka Nala village. This is also Brahmin village. They are also farmers. Okay. So today we will stop here, right? So today we just talk about fading away or the light, the main topic, right? So Kosambi conflict is also one of the parts. Then we have already mentioned we have a unity. We also have disunity. So if we have a self-center, right? We just think about our own welfare. We cannot have unity. If we have community center, the community-based thinking, we can say, we can self-centered thinking or community-based thinking. Sometimes we just think about community. That means community peacefulness is more important. If we have this kind of mindset, we can live peacefully in the community. For example, in the community, nobody do something strange, don't do it. Right? For example, in Nepal, we have many problems. For example, in the winter, not very cold like Memyo, not very cold like Himalaya. They use sweater, no? They wear something for wear a sweater. I say, don't wear. This is not good behavior. This is like a layman wearing style, which you should not wear. Then sometimes he also reply me, nobody tell me that's what I wear. Right? Nobody tell me that's what I wear. Then I just say very simple thing, oh, nobody do, why you do? Right? If nobody say, of course, no, we don't need to say all the things. Nobody do like this, why you do? This is very simple, right? In the community, if some behavior you have never seen before, don't do it. Right? This is a very bad thing, right? So the main thing is, if we are going to be united, we must think about community. For the welfare of community, there will be unity. If we think about our own welfare, our own happiness, our own peacefulness, we're going to feel peaceful. There cannot be unity anymore. Okay? So, Buddha teaching is very deep and very profound. There are many things we cannot imagine. Many of them are beyond our imaginary. Right? So sometimes when we experience new things, also beyond imaginary, right? Very wonderful, very excellent. But don't follow new experiences too much when you are practicing. Just keep doing your main subject, meditation. If you follow many other things, your quality will become weaker and weaker. Even your life will fade away. Even your nimitta can disappear. If you have jhanas, you can lose your jhana. Okay? So may you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final situation and not suffering. Okay, anything? Yesterday, no question, right? So today, you have a time. I have a time.
Dạ bạch ngài, trong suốt từ khi mà Đức Phật được thọ ký trải qua 24 vị Phật thì con chỉ thấy rằng ngài có xuất gia 7 đến 9 lần thôi. Thì không biết là có phải cái cuộc sống đạo sư thì vì đạo sĩ thì có thể dễ dàng hành ba la mật hơn là làm tu sĩ không ạ?
So the question is, in Bodhisatta fulfilling Parami time throughout 24 Buddha, he only ordained 7 to 8 to 9 times. So the question is that the ascetic life easy to fulfill Parami than household life?
Okay. For Nikama Parami, right? Ordinary life is easier. We don't have any, we can say factors or, right? That means we can say, how does this done? Like we are living like an open space, you know? And ordinary life is like living in the narrow space. Because you have many things to attach. Family, for example, you may have a wife and children, right? You cannot leave easily. If you leave, your children will complain. Your wife will complain, right? Ordinary life, easy, open space. That means household life is in the narrow space, ordinary life is in the open space. There's a difference. That's why after ordination, we can fulfill more Nikama Parami. Okay? Okay, now? Another thing?
On Zoom, there are many questions, Sarah. Can I read in Vietnamese first? Khi mới ngồi thiền, con thường niệm ân đức Phật và rải tâm từ cho chính bản thân. Sau đó một lát là con vào thiền. Con ngồi 1 tiếng gần như không phóng tâm, nhưng con bị rớt thiền 2 lần do an quá nên ngủ gật. Dù con đã luôn nhắc mình phải tinh tấn. Sau khi rớt thiền 2 lần thì dù có cố gắng thế nào con cũng không vào lại được. Con ngồi thêm khoảng 1 tiếng nữa nhưng không vào thiền được. Và cơ thể rất mệt, cảm giác không còn sức lực hết hơn. Nhiều ngày nay con như vậy rồi, Ngài cho con xin lời khuyên con phải tiếp tục thế nào ạ? So when I just sit down, I usually do Buddhanussati and Metta for myself, and after a while I could meditate well around 1 hour, and almost no wandering thought. But I found they use the word, I don't know whether they enter jhana or not, but I failed meditation 2 times because of too much tranquility. Then I fallen into sleep. Although I always remind myself must diligence. After 2 times fail, then how much I try, I could not enter again to the meditation. I sit 1 more hour, but I could not meditate well, and the body feel very, very tired, no more strength. And it's happened many days already. Then Sada, please advise me, how should I do?
Okay, so when you have too much tranquility, at that time you must remind yourself to keep knowing breathing. Right? Don't do like be diligent. This is not good reminder, right? Diligent is okay. You are diligent enough. The main thing is that whenever you have calmness, quietness, tranquility, joy, remind yourself to keep knowing breathing. If necessary, after a few seconds, remind 1 time to keep knowing breathing. Sometimes your breathing become very subtle. You cannot know in and out. You just know general breathing. At the time, so that kind of thing can happen. So as I have suggested, remind every few seconds. It will be easier for you to maintain your concentration. Otherwise, the same thing happen again and again. If that cannot happen very long times, when it becomes habits, not quite good. Okay. Okay, now this one.
Another question, may I read in Vietnamese first? Thưa Ngài, mỗi sáng con ngồi thiền 4 giờ, thường sau 1,5 giờ đầu con xả thiền 1 lần. Nhưng sau khi quay lại ngồi tâm con luôn muốn xả tiếp, có khi 30 phút xả 1 lần, nên 2 tiếng còn lại con xả thiền tại chỗ 3-4 lần. Hôm qua con hứa với một người bạn sẽ ngồi một mạch 4 tiếng không xả thiền và quay video gửi bạn, nếu không làm được sẽ tặng bạn 2 triệu. Và con ngồi được suốt 4 tiếng, nhưng cảm thấy rất mệt lả, đến chiều không ngồi được. Quan trọng là dù có xả thiền hay không thì con cũng chỉ chú tâm tốt ở 1 tiếng đầu và 30 phút cuối, 2 tiếng ở giữa, cứ 5-10 phút con lại phóng tâm một chút. Làm sao để thời thiền con chú tâm xuyên suốt được? Con có nên ép mình ngồi xuyên suốt không ạ? So now every morning I could sit 3 to 4 hours. First 1.5 hour, I usually stop 1 time, but after that, when I come back to sit, the mind always want to stop, and sometimes after 30 minutes, I stop 1 time, and the remaining 2 hours, I just change the posture to 3 to 4 times during sitting. Yesterday, I promised with one of my friends that I would sit continuously 4 hours without any stop. Then I would record video and send to him. If I could do, if I couldn't do that, I would offer him, fail 2 million Vietnam dong, and I could sit continuously 4 hours, but I feel so tired, like so exhausted, and that in the evening I could not sit at all. So the most important thing is, although I stop or not, I only can focus good in the first hour, and the last 30 minutes, the 2 hours in the middle, I after every 5 to 10 minutes, I wandering a bit. So the question is, how can I continue focus on the breath throughout the section? Should I force myself sit throughout the whole session or not?
Okay. Don't gamble, right? Right? This is a gambling, right? Don't gamble, okay? Okay, one more thing here. Long time sitting doesn't mean you can improve faster. Improvement comes from skill. So that means if you can sit maybe 1 hour continuously with good quality, that means good concentration, that's actually good enough. So you can balance your sitting posture. Now, for example, regularly you may sit only 1 hour, 2 hours like that. You increase immediately 4 hours, 5 hours like that, right? You will be able to sit, as you say, very tiring, other than no more energy. I mean, you force yourself to sit very long time. Willing or not, you have to sit, right? Because you have gambling, betting, right? That kind of things are not quite good. Okay, the main thing, you might make your mind peaceful. You might make your body comfortable. Then try to focus on the breathing naturally. Don't pressure. You'll be able to focus. Of course, for beginner, everybody has thoughts. You're going to avoid the thoughts. As long as you don't follow the thought, it's good enough.
Another question in Vietnamese. Hiện tại con không chứng đắc gì cả, nhưng giả sử một ngày con đạt được thành tựu gì đó trong tầng thiền, con sẽ không khoe. Nhưng nếu con để cho người ta hiểu con đã đạt được thần thiền, ví dụ quay video con ngồi thiền định 5 đến 7 tiếng và vào đó bán những món hàng như nệm thiền, quần áo thiền, vân vân. Con là một Phật tử tại gia, phải nuôi con cái, phụng dưỡng mẹ cha, và con chỉ giữ 5 giới, thì làm như vậy có được không ạ? Có điều gì bất lợi cho con không ạ? Currently, I haven't attained anything related to jhana, but suppose one day I could attain any achievement related to jhana, I will not boasting, but in order to let people understand that I could achieve something jhana. For example, I record myself sitting in the meditation status 5 to 7 hours, and on that video I sell some of the goods related to meditation, like cushion or cloth. Because I'm a lady devotee, I have to feed my children and serve my parents. So I just keep 5 precepts And by doing this, is it okay for me? Is there any disadvantage for me?
I mean, you don't need to show your meditation video, right? You can sell your product. If it's a good quality, they will buy, right? Okay.
Another question. Vandamisada, a question from a previous Dhamma talk. Should one reflect and contemplate ultimate truth in all cases outside of the 8 cases where you should use conventional truth? How much one without vipassana know nama rupa anicca anatta dukkha along with mindfulness? Thank you, Sarah.
Not quite clear, right?
Yeah.
That means without knowing nama rupa, we should not do anicca dukkha anatta. That's the main point, right?
So I think the main point, the question asked about like
A condition. Okay,
outside a condition. We should reflect on conventional truth. Then remaining, should we reflect on ultimate truth without vipassana knowledge?
Actually, this kind of question is right? We can say out of question, right? Or among the 8, for example, the last one is very wide, right? So the Buddha didn't avoid or didn't reject conventional truth. Okay, for example, every day in our conversation, in our daily life, we use conventional truth. For example, when I ask some Vietnamese, what do you eat today? And you may say, I eat noodle. Right? You cannot say, I eat uducharupa. Right? So that means, whenever you talk to somebody, you must use conventional truth. You cannot say, namarupa anicca dukkha anatta. Right? For example, what do you eat today? I just eat anicca. Right? Who will understand that kind of usage? Okay, the main thing is that when we are practicing vipassana, we can use namarupa. If we are not practicing vipassana, just for daily conversation, don't use anicca dukkha anatta or don't use namarupa. There will be some exception. For example, when you are teaching Dhamma, you must say it, right? When you are learning Dhamma, okay, you must learn this one. You must use it, right, in your conversation. Because teacher will ask Dhamma question, you must also answer Dhamma question. This will be exception. For other daily conversation, right, you must use conventional truth. Okay. Okay.
Cao. Bạch Ngài, trong các tầng thiền thì nó có nhiều cấp độ khác nhau. Mỗi tầng thiền nó có 3 cấp độ khác nhau. Bởi vì có phải không ạ? Bởi vì con thấy rằng trong một cái bản kinh là cái sự tái sinh của một con người sơ thiền thì có 3 cái cõi giới khác nhau.
So he would like to clarify is that there are 3 levels, different levels in each jhana. Because in the sutta said that even one have jhana, but after reborn in Brahma world, they see 3 different realms in the one jhana,
sure,
one level.
Sure, this is sure. It depends on controlling faculties. Right? When we have on the standard controlling faculties, it will be lower jhana. When we have medium controlling faculty, it will be medium jhana. When we have very strong, very sharp controlling faculty, it will be superior jhana. So we have 3 levels of first jhana, 3 levels of second jhana, 3 levels of fourth jhana, like that, right? Okay. Yeah, question now. Yeah.
Dạ thưa Ngài, đối với bậc thánh, ngoài 5 giới mặc nhiên không phạm thì còn những giới nào khác các vị chắc chắn không phạm không ạ? Và đối với bậc thánh là tỳ khưu thì các vị có thể phạm những giới nhỏ không ạ? Con xin tri ân Ngài. Sau đó, the Arya person, besides 5 precepts that they automatically cannot offense, so cannot break. Is there any other rule that they surely cannot break or not? And with the Arya who are bhikkhu, then can they offense the small rules, bhikkhu rules?
Even Venerable Buddha offends small rules, okay. Right? This is it. Okay, one more thing, right? They will not make intentionally. They may break unintentional offense. Even Sanghadisesa, second biggest offense, right? We have one Ajitaka offense there also, right? So that means Arhat also can make this kind of problem if they don't know Vinaya. Okay.
Với người có tưởng yếu, sanya yếu thì khi hành các đề mục thiền khác nhau họ đều chỉ thấy ánh sáng chứ không thấy nimitta có hình dạng cụ thể, phải không à? Nếu đếm tới 100 đến 1000 cùng hơi thở thì tưởng lúc đó tạo ra là tưởng gì ạ? Nếu có ánh sáng tạo ra do việc đếm số thì có tính là cận định được không ạ? If sanya is weak with every meditation object, the nimitta is general light without specific shape. Is it correct, Sarah? Without shape.
Without
only
shape?
The light, but there is no shape. Is it correct? If count the breath up to 100 or 1000 times, then which sanya is created? And if the light appear by counting numbers with anapana, can the light consider upachara samadhi?
The light is the light upachara samadhi, right? We don't recommend to count 1,000 or 100 like this, right? We just recommend to count 1 to 8 or 1 to 10. At least 5, at most 10, not more than that. The number is not very important. Do no breathing is more important, right? So perceptions, of course, when you change your perception, everything will change. So the main thing is don't count 1,000 or 100 like this, right? Another thing, the light is not upachara. Upachara is only absorption mind on the nimitta. Okay.
Dạ, thầy cho con hỏi là lúc mà 3 ngày Anuttha và 2 ngày còn lại sống với nhau bằng cái tâm từ á, là khi đó các ngài đã là bậc thánh chưa hay là vẫn là vị tỳ khu, vẫn còn là người phàm ạ? Để Đức Phật giảng cái bài kinh đó cho ngài Anuttha.
So the question is, when the Buddha met 3 venerable Anuruddha and other 2, are they Arya at the time or they just Puthujjana?
They are Arya.
Như vậy thì khi đó ngài Anuruddha đã là bậc thánh rồi, nhưng mà ngài vẫn được Đức Phật giảng 11 cách để tiến lên.
So Venerable Anuruddha, he was Arya too, Sarah. Before the Buddha taught him the sutta related to Upakritisa, so he was Arya.
Actually, Venerable Anuruddha has been Sotapanna a very long time, right? Okay.
Dạ, con muốn hỏi một câu liên quan đến ngài Anuruddha là khi ngài thắc mắc với ngài Sariputta là vì sao ngài không có ngài thấy cả hàng triệu thế giới nhưng mà ngài không thành tựu A La Hán, thì ngài Sariputta đó trả lời như thế nào để cho ngài đã trở thành A La Hán?
So the question is when Venerable Anuruddha complained with Venerable Sariputta that although he could see 1,000 world systems, but he could not attain arahantship yet, then how Venerable Sariputta answered him on this question?
Okay. Actually, there are three, not only one, right? Venerable say three things. That means I can see many world systems. My second power is very strong. This is one thing. I'm very intelligent. This is another thing, right? That although I'm very intelligent, I cannot attain higher attainment. Other he was Sotapanna. I cannot attain higher attainment. Say three things to Venerable Sariputta. The Venerable Sariputta replied, you said you can see many thousand world systems. That means you have mana, pride. If you can remove this pride, you can improve. Then you said, you are very intelligent. That means you have restlessness. If you can overcome the restlessness, you can improve. Finally, you also said, I cannot attain higher attainments. This is also worry, anxiety, right? So if you can remove this anxiety or worry, you can improve. Say three things, right? Okay, now we can share a minute, right? Idame bunyam asawakaya vaham hodu. Idame bunyam nibbanasa pacayo hodu. Mama bunya bhaga sabasatana bhajemi te sabe me samam bunya bhaga lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.